Okay, hello. My name is Savannah Eichel, and I'm just recording my closing thoughts on the ethics course from this year. So to get started, I'll answer specific ways that I feel that I have a deeper understanding regarding the role of the school counselor. It's such a nuanced question because I feel as though this class really opened my eyes in a lot of different ways. First and foremost, one of the most shocking realizations I had was the ambiguity surrounding the role of the school counselor and just how far reaching that is. And I especially discovered that when I was doing the field interviews. And it was really interesting when I was interviewing somebody who didn't work for a public school, who worked for an alternative private school. She really talked about not understanding her role and having even less of a guideline to go off of. So that was really interesting to uncover. But in addition to that, there are just all the other aspects of the role of school counselors that are outside of the domain of the social emotional component, really understanding the three domains and how to split your time between all of them and sort of how to develop your interventions in a way that's the most effective. And lastly, I think one of the most, maybe this was obvious in a way, but one of the most compelling pieces of information that I received from the class, I think, was learning how to structure your time as a school counselor, because when you, Dr. Moss, broke it down in class of, let's say, doing tier 3 interventions and needing to understand that you don't want your tier 3 to go above a certain percentage. And if you're meeting with 13 students once a week, that's 13 hours, and that's going to come close to almost half of your time. That really put into perspective the importance of understanding how you are implementing your interventions and how you're deciding to use your time as a school counselor. So that was really interesting and unexpected for me to learn about. Moving on to the next question, just to talk about some areas of strength that I've identified throughout the class. Well, I think I've always been a very data-driven individual. So I think that already looking towards empirically reviewed pieces of literature and allowing my work to be informed not just by my thoughts and feelings or what I think is right, but by legitimately reviewed scholarly work is a strength that I think I can bring to the table. And in addition to that, I think the role that I currently have really encompasses and embodies a lot of advocacy. Oftentimes I come into a classroom or a school and people don't know what I'm supposed to do. They don't know my role and they don't really understand what I'm there for. And so luckily I've had a lot of practice of having to explain to people, despite what they want to think or believe, what I'm really there for. So I think that that will really help me as I go on and be a school counselor, having those difficult conversations, and especially sort of breaking other people's expectations of what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to help. So sorry, I'm sick. And so yeah, I'm gonna move on then to talk about some areas that I'd like to continue to grow through this class. Boy, there's a lot. I think in terms of advocacy, I'll go off of that. I think that I'll be a really strong advocate for the features of my role and what the school counselor is designed for. However, we often brought up in class instances or scenarios where teachers or other staff members or administration is wanting to push for a policy or something that is antithetical to empirical research. And confronting people on their beliefs is going to be a really difficult thing for me. And so something that I really want to grow is my confrontation skills. And not my advocacy for myself, but advocating for others in those scenarios when it might be a little difficult. I think that that's something that I certainly could work on to be a better school counselor. And additionally, going back to that component of needing to really time manage and needing to really assess the way that I'm using my time, that's certainly a skill that I'm going to have to really focus on and develop. And really being intentional with my time, my interventions, and how I embody the role is really, really, really important, and something that I'm going to have to really work on, because I think that it can be easy for time to escape me, and it may be quite easy to get wrapped up in the work and then look back and realize, oh my goodness, so much of my time has been taken up with things that are maybe menial or not as important or are not going to really shift the needle in any, marked degree in a meaningful way. So lastly, what are my thoughts about moving towards practicum internship? A little imposter syndrome, a little more prepared, excited and nervous, and feeling as if I am still a little baby student myself. Equal parts that, equal parts really ready and excited to just apply what I've been learning throughout the 15 weeks that I've been enrolled in this course. I've just been thinking of all the ways that I can implement what we've been learning, and so just feeling genuinely really excited. I'm so sorry. So yeah, in general, just a little bit of apprehension of what I might be walking into or what kind of placement I might get, but just overall feeling really excited to start.